Hi, Lara.
Hey, Alison.
How are you?
Good, good.
Nice to see you. So, just a quick introduction. So, Lara, you are in the woman motorcycle community. You're quite active in that community. So, you were leading the WRWR Women Riders World Relay for UAE last year, but you're also the president of the LITAS, an international network of women riders, and the president of WIMA UAE. So, quite a lot of things on your plate and very involved in the community. So, but you started riding only 5 years ago in a way. So, first, I'd like to ask you. That's one of my key questions. Like, what brought you to motorcycling in the first place?
Wow. So thank you, Alison, first of all, for having me. And I'm so excited to be with you. So what brought me to motorcycling was, to be very frank, it's a skin disease. I had psoriasis because of stress. And this was when I realized that I needed to do something for myself as a mother and as a lady. And motorcycling was what I saw as an ad, honestly. It was just an ad out there on this huge digital world. And I thought, why not? And I just went to the school and started learning how to ride.
And so, what do you say? So, you mentioned we were discussing about that earlier. This skin disease, this kind of basically anxiety. So, since you started riding, I understand the driving force was to do something for yourself, right? And so you were trying different things, and you tried motorcycle. You started learning motorcycling, but you could have taken up another passion. Then you started skydiving as well. You could have kept go doing another activity for yourself. So why did you stick to motorcycles, so to speak? What does it bring to your life today, and how has it impacted any way your anxiety or your skin problems? Like, has it had any impact?
Yeah, so basically, I healed completely from psoriasis, which is something that's very rare. So when you have psoriasis, it's a lifetime friend. I was so blessed, and really, I'm so grateful because I was able to heal from this. I wouldn't say this is completely and only because of the motorcycling, but motorcycling played a big role
Yeah, I
because
wish.
wish you know about it much more than me. So yeah, it wasn't completely from motorcycling, but motorcycling for me was a very powerful statement. It was like taking the small little Lara who was just trying to figure out how she can walk her way through this tough life to the lady Lara, or the woman, mature Lara, who's like telling the world, and firstly herself, I'm here. I want to enjoy my life. I want to give it my best, and I want to trust myself. Because it's not easy for anyone to go sit on a tank full of fuel and lit this fire and just say, I'm going to do it. And this by itself was so encouraging, so empowering. Because, see, when you're a mother and you're a working professional as well, and you have a lot to do in your life, sometimes you lose the dots. Sometimes you forget about your personality, your soul, who you are, and you just go on and on and on and on. And this is what happened to me. I just wanted to be a good performer, a good mom, a good wife, and I forgot that there was this person who wanted to be good and do good, who needed a lot of attention and care. And the moment I started focusing on myself as well, and the moment I start feeding myself and my soul through motorcycling, through yoga, meditation, reading, listening to audiobooks, eating healthier, just becoming a better human for myself, everything changed. I healed from psoriasis, and for me, motorcycling, although I just said that it wasn't the main reason why I healed, I consider it as my healer and my life partner. Because the moment I get on the bike, and I'm sure Alison and all the ladies who ride knows this, you feel like the world is yours.
Yes, completely. And there is this say as well that women can orgasm on a motorcycle, right? Especially, you ride a Harley, right? You ride a Harley,
Yes,
right? Yeah, you
I do.
see.
I ride the Harley.
Yes, I
To be
was
specific.
reading. Yeah, I was reading a few articles and I believe it. I believe it sincerely because, you know, it's the vibration, the sound, the heat is really good as well for the mindset. Like it's proven, like scientifically, that for well-being, vibration and sounds and have a really good positive effect. So I'm really not surprised by what you're saying, you know. But yeah, there is this joke. I don't think it's a joke, but yeah. So I'm not surprised when you say it's my partner and my healer. I will definitely feel the same.
Yeah, it's a meditative state. The moment you get on the motorcycle, it's like the world stopped.
Yeah, meditative state. Yeah, completely. So, tell us a little bit about the LITAS. So yeah, you're president of WIMA, so Women International Motorcycle Association. And also the LITAS. So you were telling me that basically at first when you started riding, you wanted to ride with other women, you couldn't find any, so reached out to the LITAS. And then you finally found some local members who wanted to build that group locally in UAE. So can you tell us a little bit more about that organization and what does it bring to you, how many members you have, and what do you usually do together?
Sure. So basically, the LITAS is an international community that exists everywhere, almost more than 70 countries around the world. And in France, also in Malaysia, we have LITAS. So basically, when I was looking for lady bikers, I couldn't find like a group that I can join. And I found LITA's international account. And when I reached out, it was like, oh my God, this is very interesting for us because we don't have a branch in Middle East. Yeah, go ahead, just get two founders so you can all the three of you co-found the LITAS, and this is the norm basically. And I was just looking for lady bikers because I didn't know any, or I knew only one or two, and who were already riding with some groups, and they felt too much loyalty for the group that they didn't want to start anything new. It took a while, but then we found other two members, and for the past 3 years we have been riding together along with 12 other members, and the number is growing. 12 other lady bikers. We're very diverse. We come from all backgrounds. We are all leading the LITAS. We are all so passionate about it, and most importantly, the bond we have, like the sisterhood closeness we have, is like really very priceless. You know, when we're riding, the feeling that when someone is leading or someone at the back, the way we cover each other's back, the way we protect each other's on the road, the way we ride together is just so overwhelming and so empowering. And the girls are just awesome. I wish they can all be here now and tell you about their stories. Like each one has a very interesting story. They are coming from various backgrounds. Each one has a different jobs during the day. We ride different bikes. Sort type of bikes.
We can do another interview with all those ladies, no problem, with pleasure. You know, you can bring them all. I'd love to speak with them. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always interesting to I like those one-on-one because we can have a little bit deeper conversation and so on. But I'm definitely thinking sometimes I'm like, oh, I'd like to put all those women together, you know, and not just keep it for myself as well. Like I'm sharing the interviews, but obviously, you know, I'm sure that there are women or people who would like to ask, you know, other questions than my questions. And, you know, the women in Asia as well that I'm talking with, I'm like, oh, they are worth knowing, you know? So yeah, no, sure, we should do that. And I totally get your feeling of, yeah, you know, having your bike and this kind of empowering feeling. Like when I'm riding my bike with a normal group, I really enjoy it. But when I do it with Malaysian women riders or women riders in particular, I don't know why it always gives me shivers because I just see it feels like seeing just all those women riding is just a different feeling. I don't know. I cannot explain. It's just like we reconnect with our own tribal nature, you know, with our own wild nature in a way, and we feel connected again. You know, but that's why I find it interesting as well. You mentioned something interesting, and I think that's what I like about the LITAS as well. Though I didn't find any chapter in Malaysia yet, I will check again. But what I like about the concept is that it's all motorbikes. And you're right. There's one thing you were mentioning about some women who were loyal to their group, which I understand. And at the same time, yeah, I find it a little bit frustrating because, like, I ride a Harley, but sometimes I feel I get on better in terms of riding style, in terms of values, in terms of where we want to ride or the activities we want to do. Sometimes I get on better, I'm more connected with women who ride sports bike or women who ride motocross, or, you know, it doesn't really matter. And that's what I quite liked with the LITAS, is that there is this kind of, you know, it's not about the bike you ride, it's about the value and the pleasure of the two wheels, right? And it's the same with WIMA, it's all bikes, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just a lady bike. It's about the unity and the woman tribe, as you rightly said.
Yeah, and WIMA, how many do you have? How many WIMA members are there in UAE?
See, mostly we didn't do much for WIMA because the moment we started, Corona started and the lockdown was there. So basically, how we look at it from a local community of women biker perspective, whatever comes from WIMA, LITAS, and WRWR, we are supporting, and we are all considered to be sort of members of that, because it's more about connecting with the global community. It's more about having the exposure to what's happening in Europe and in other parts of the world, in Asia, and so on. So we also, as UAE Lady Bikers Group, can create awareness among our community, because we don't represent all the female riders in UAE, obviously. But we at least can create awareness for everyone else to know how and where to connect with whomever they need to, if they wish to.
Yes. So when you ride with your 10, 12 LITAS friends, what do you usually do? How long do you go for? Like, have you done any like long trips together, or is it more weekend tours? Like, do you do to specific places or do certain activities? How is it like to ride with the LITAS UAE?
Well, it's so exciting because, you know, we are a very open group. So whenever anybody has any suggestion, we'd just talk about it, and the girls who are interested will join. Like once we went for gun shooting. We just drove to the destination, did gun shooting, and came back. Yeah. Sometimes once we wanted to do a spa ride, which didn't happen yet. So this is quite exciting, you know, to go on a bike and then get your nails done and leave. We go for dinner, of course. We go to desert rides. We go to biker destination, bikers cafe. We have very cool biker cafes in UAE. And of course, we visit other Emirates. So we travel from Dubai to Fujairah, Al Ain, many areas, you know, Ras Al Khaimah. We can also, when there was no Corona, we would go to Abu Dhabi. Sometimes a few girls also went to Oman and slept over for a night, because we are at the border with Oman. So there are a lot of cool stuff that we have been doing. Sometimes we go for a night dinner, you know. So yeah, it's quite interesting what we do. Also,
Nice.
we do a lot of rides. We support charity rides, also awareness, breast cancer awareness, for example, and so on.
Very nice. Yeah, I think that's a common thing in bikers in general, in the bikers community. Like, there are a lot of charities and there are a lot of bikers who support different causes, and it's very, very true. Never thought of going on a tour like overseas, like to go on a full week. So you mentioned you go sometimes overnight for a weekend, for example, but ever thought of going to another country, like, and just go for a week motorcycle tour, for example?
Absolutely. You know, one of our LITA's member and biker friend, she's in Saudi, and she's planning a trip in Saudi, and we all want to go, but now with the COVID, it's very challenging. Also, on a personal level, I've been to Europe before, actually before COVID in 2019. Me and my husband, we went to Switzerland, and from there we went to Milano and then to Switzerland on bikes. So each one had his own bikes, and it was like a 4-day tour. And of course, we have plans, and we want to travel and ride the whole world together.
Nice. And so what do you like? So you ride with your husband. Your husband has a motorcycle too. What motorcycle do you own?
I have a Harley Sportster, 1,200 cc. My husband is a bike since he was a kid, but now he's not riding in Dubai, but he rides. So whenever we travel, we ride together.
Okay. And so yeah, so you ride with your husband, you ride with your lady friends. What do you like more particularly about riding with women?
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna say something that might sound a bit weird, but I'm just being transparent and honest with what I am saying. The moment I'm riding at the back and I see my lady friends riding in the front, and you see her silhouette, she's like so tiny and her bike is so big, and she's just like a tiger taking the lead. I feel like, first of all, I say to myself, God bless her, because our safety is our number one criteria, an important thing. And second thing, I'm like, I admire our strength as women, and I admire because I feel what this lady is feeling. Yeah, like I feel a lot of overwhelming spiritual emotions related to how we are riding, because it takes a lot of courage, guts, and belief in God and in yourself to just take the lead and go. So this is what I like about it. It's a very deep connection and emotion that is hard to explain.
Yeah, I know it's interesting because lots of people ask me that as well. And, with my company, I try to explain that feeling. But I say, every time I say, you have to try, you just have to do it, because it's very difficult to put into words. And, that feeling that you said it yourself, you reconnect with yourself. But when you're riding in group, you also reconnect with your womanhood, with your sister. Like suddenly we are not we are not mothers or corporate leaders or sisters. We just go out of this preconceived role, and we are just us as women. And I feel there is this kind of power. We kind of reconnect with our internal feminine power. It's very
100%.
true. It's very true.
No, women are source of life.
Yeah.
No soul can come to earth without a woman, without the body of a woman and the womb of a woman. So when we think about that and you see this source of life being renewed on the road with the wind, with the power that we have as a tribe, really, it's like very empowering and incredibly meditative, as I said, because really the other day I was thinking, like I was having a lot of things to do. And when I was on my bike and I was riding with the ladies, we were around 10 ladies, I was just smiling, and I felt at the moment that nothing was on my mind, like really, literally, which never happens, which rarely happens to me. I'm like, I'm not thinking of anything. I'm just like, ta-da! And I'm smiling. And so this moment, this feeling, unless you live it and you have this bond with your other sisters and you feel this family, this non-blood family connection with people by just trusting the universe and trusting people and trusting your bike and going on. Wow, it's just powerful, empowering.
Yeah, very true. So tell me, I'd like to ask you a question as well. I wouldn't say controversial questions, but we always have this image, and especially in the Middle East. I was talking with my friend Massa in Iran, or I talked to Margarita lately. Who's in Qatar. And, we always have this image that in those countries, women cannot drive. I mean, not all of those countries, but a lot of Middle East countries, women don't have ride, they have to cover themselves, they cannot drive cars, so we're like, wow, riding bikes and motorcycles and Harley Davidson. So I'd like to know, I've never been in UAE at all. So I'd like to know from your perspective, what challenges women might face if they want to ride bike in Qatar, be it societal or be it something else. It could be also just technical, purely technical. But what challenges might women face in UAE if they want to ride bikes? And you as a rider, and with your group, do you face any challenges now that you're a rider?
Yeah, first of all, you're welcome to come to the UAE. You have a tribe of sisters who are waiting for you, and we'll be happy to have you. Regarding the challenges, I want to just say the truth, okay? There are no challenges. And I truly mean there are no challenges. We live in a country, thank God, we're very blessed to live in the UAE, and in Dubai in particular, everything is just, it's just there. You have your insurance, you have your motorcycle, you have your service, you have some 24-hour support. So if anything goes wrong, you can just call a pickup, or and you have a very strong community in the motorcycling, be it for mixed groups or ladies only or whatever is convenient for each individual. You know, or it's not about women, it's about the community, and the community is very strong. And we have fellow bikers who are outstanding and amazing men who supported us a lot in WRWR from many other groups. So I really want to be very genuine with my answer. Really, there are no challenges. If at all there is a challenge, it's very subjective, and it goes to the particular person background and his family. So for example, if you come from a very conservative family who do not appreciate or like lady to ride motorcycle, or do not accept it, or your community does not accept it, then in here there might be a challenge which has to be handled on personal level. But other than that, it's the opposite. People will stop us just to take a picture with us, or say that they have been seeing ladies. This was a cool comment, actually, we heard a few days ago. They're like, a gentleman comes and he's like, I've seen ladies riding sports car, and we were so amazed. But motorcycles, for God's sake, this is a first, and you are a group, and he was so happy. So this is the type of support we get, in fact, you know. It's the other way around. Yeah, people should come and see to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'd love to come for sure visit you. You know, there are so many countries where I want to meet different people in women riders and experience the life there for sure. And so no challenge, particular challenges. What would you say then to women who are interested, who would be interested to ride bikes, but for whatever reason they don't dare, or they might have some, you know, family or societal constraint, or in their close environment, you know, where it's not particularly well seen? What would you tell them to encourage them? Because still, I mean, it's you are a group of 12 women. There are much more women in UAE, right? So it's not, as you said, it's not common. So, you know, I'm thinking, how can we make it more common? Because how can more women enjoy that pleasure? You know, so what would you tell them?
Yeah, see, there are two parts to your question, I think. The first one is what I would tell women who are afraid of judgment or society, or are not daring or whatever. I will say, I have been there. And the only thing that made me push through was the passion that I have within me. So if they don't try it, and maybe they would try it and they wouldn't like it. So the first thing I would advise is to try. And this is how I raise my kids even. I tell them, never judge, even a meal, even anything, a fruit. Try and see. If you like it, you stick to it. If you don't like it, fine. So first thing, try. And once you try, you will know if it's for you or not. And then, khalas, when you really want something, and let's be honest, we are all human. We have the same heart functionality and same brain functionality. And we have a soul. So the moment your soul feels for something, nothing can stop you. You will figure out your ways and you will make it happen. Now, the second part was, what was the second part? Alison?
To grow the women riders community in UAE. How
Yeah,
to grow the women riders community.
Yeah, I'll be frank with you. This isn't my objective, because it's about growing the community itself with the male counterpart and women. It's not about women only. The whole idea was that personally, I felt more comfortable to go have coffee and a cigarette with a lady who understands me as a woman, and I can talk to her from woman perspective about maybe some private part of my life that I'm not comfortable sharing with the gentleman, maybe, you know. So it's never the case of growing the female, because it's not a competition. And I love to say this again and again, because at the point of time we were perceived as a feminists who are very aggressive towards a female-only group. And it's not the case. It's just about our comfort and our decisions. And when we take a decision as a woman, we just want to enjoy the way we enjoy whatever we want to do. And I'm saying this also because many ladies will take the license and they just want to enjoy a company of a mixed group and mixed tribe. So it's a complete personal decisions. So for me, when I have a time, I'd rather spend it with my circle of lady bikers. And this is a choice that I made. It's not about gender or women empowerment, because we are powerful and we will keep on empowering each other. So
yeah, no, true. It's very true. I was more saying that in the sense to give opportunities for women to try. So I'm telling you that because it's from my own experience. For example, in Malaysia, I know that there are lots of women who say, oh, I dream of that, or I'd love to do that. But for example, they don't know where to reach other people. And if you go to a motorcycle shop, for example, it's still very male dominated, so it can be a little bit intimidating. And then there are some groups like the Ladies of Harley or some motocross group, but if you're a beginner and you're not even sure what type of bike you'd like to ride, then you're not too sure who to reach to. And sometimes those groups, they can seem a little bit also intimidated because, as you said, women, they are already powerful, they ride bikes. So those who just want to try, they might even be intimidated by us. You know what I mean? And sometimes also it's the riding, like for example, in Malaysia, the riding classes, the riding school are not very good. So there are some women, they try, but also they get very quickly like frightened and they stop because they are not really taught in a proper environment and so on. So that's why I was curious to know, like in UAE, I understand it's not your goal to just increase the number of women riders, but I was wondering if there were things that would help them or things that were a little bit bottlenecks, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to that, Alison, this is a great question and a great point that you brought up. You're absolutely right. Women needs to feel comfortable, and without a presence of a group of women who are welcoming and who are friendly enough, it's very challenging for ladies to get into the sports unless she really wants it. So thank you for asking this question because it's very powerful and important. So from this perspective, you're absolutely right. We're trying to support women. How? Some ladies write to us, they ask us about bike specifications or what do we recommend as a first bike, or other ladies ask us which school you recommend or where can we start. Some ask us to join us as a pillion because they just want to see the experience. So others ask, as you rightly said, from where to buy ladies gear. So from this perspective, thank you for asking this question. Yes, we do a lot, and we try as much as possible through our Instagram account, mostly on LITAS, to really be resourceful, provide information and support our community as much as possible. Because yeah, you're right, this is very important for female to be taught in the right environment and to be comfortable in starting the journey in motorcycling.
And you mentioned passenger. Do you have a lot of women asking you to take them on a ride and to go? Tell us some examples, like do you feel comfortable? Because you know, in Malaysia, that's what I'm doing, and I'm taking people on rides. And I ask some of my friends. Sometimes I ask, okay, I have this group of ladies. They are 4. They'd like to do rides, but my friends usually, even if they ride big bikes, sometimes, as I said, the riding schools are not great. So even if they ride, sometimes they are not confident enough to take a passenger, or they don't always have a second seat. You know, so it's not that easy to find women who are willing to take passengers. And so how is it in UAE? Like, do you regularly take women on rides?
It's same like your case, you know, some are not comfortable, some don't have the right accessories on the bike to carry a pillion. So it's the same case. However, it's hard to turn people down. So we try to accommodate as much as possible. Sometimes we have to say no, or sometimes we are texted with a message that says, take me on the next ride. And then the next ride happens and we don't have time to communicate back. So it's a bit challenging to arrange for that, you know, especially that now through social media, sometimes you would miss some messages, but we try to do it as much as possible with those who are capable to handle a pillion with them. But yeah, it's done.
That's very nice. I just want to get back quickly to the organization. So WRWR, WIMA, LITAS. What do they? So I understand, you know, what's important as well is the local communities. Ultimately, is the people who you ride with, you know, every day on weekends. What does it bring to you as a group, as a local women group, to be part of WIMA or LITAS or WRWR, to be part of those international networks? Like, what's the difference between being part of the LITAS and being part of the WIMA, for example? Like, why so many groups? Do they bring different values, or Can you tell me a little bit more about those different organizations, how they contribute, how the value they bring to your local community?
Sure. See, I'd like to summarize the organization in one way, whereby when we created the LITAS, and it was the first ever lady biker group in the Middle East 3.5 years ago, the purpose was to connect local community together, and with the vision that because it's part of an international group, it will connect us with other lady bikers. And soon enough, because of the LITAS and the WIMA, we got to know about WRWR. And the UAE was the first and only Arabic country participating in the actual relay among 50 other countries. So the result of that was amazing. Why? Because this resulted in ripple events relays in Lebanon that connected the lady bikers in Lebanon, in Saudi, in Qatar, and in Kuwait. So the power that we had by doing this global connection had a ripple success in Arabic countries in the region. And we had people in their 40s and 50s telling us that we never thought this could be possible for us. We have been riding for 20 years. And thank you for doing this. So what I'm trying to say is basically, no matter the group, now these are international groups. We have a lot of local groups that has amazing lady bikers as well. Now, the power came when WRWR happened, and we had 13 countries participants flying to Dubai from Australia, from Canada, from the UK, just to participate in Dubai relay. And that moment was when the local community connected with the global community. And now I can see them communicating on social media, having plans sometimes to ride in each other's countries. Unfortunately, COVID happened and a lot of things is now on hold. But this strong bond that was created over these 2 days during WRWR is basically the legacy and the vision and the objective of being part of a community and of a global community. So I think this will stay. Everything will change, but this connection will remain there forever. And for me,
it's the exposure, being able to both expose the local women, your community, to the international scene and show them, but on the other side also be able to connect with other women globally and learn from them and this international network. Yeah.
See, Alison, our connection today, okay, and many more, be it for an interview, to support a business, to go ride in someone's country, to be part of a workshop. Now, this is all possible, regardless of the location, you know, because this base, the strong base, khalas, is created.
Yeah, true. So I see the of course the powerful the power of the international network and how you can find other women through this kind of common global platform in a way.
So true.
Yeah. Do you have any motorcycle? So first, just to finish on those organizations. So we know, of course, that some projects are a bit on hold and travels and so on. But can you tell me about any specific projects or tools or vision that you have for any of those organizations? There are any projects that you'd like to share with me or with us that you feel is important to share?
Yeah, see, we have worked on a couple of projects, to be honest. One of them was to do a tour between here, the UAE and Saudi. And another one was to do something very exciting in Lebanon with motocross brand. I'll be honest, everything is completely stopped. We're not even discussing them because of the situation. So I'm not going to share more than that because I don't have further information. But there will be a lot of things for sure the moment things gets back to normal, because we're all now in a different state of mind.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I understand. And at the same time, it's also a good opportunity sometimes to discuss. I mean, again, I don't know who you're talking with and so on, but I mean, at least for me, I know that, yes, sometimes I'm like, what's the point of planning those trips? You know, I don't even know when I can leave Malaysia. I don't even know when I can see my family back in France, you know, like. And on the other side, I'm also like, yeah, but that keeps my motivation. So, you know, when I talk to those women, like I'm talking with, and now Israt in Bangladesh, or even Juvena, we started discussing about maybe something in Pakistan or Masa in Iran, and the tours that I've already conceptualized thanks to women in Myanmar and in India or Nepal. That gives me the motivation in a way. I'm like, maybe it happens for a reason. It's a good time to start planning, to conceptualize, to have something to look forward to. You tell me motocross in Lebanon, I'm like, oh, okay, let me know, when do we go? Like, at least in this plan. And when we have the borders reopen, like, we'll be ready. You know what I mean? But I know it's difficult. Sometimes it's like when there's no specific date, it can be a bit discouraging. But yeah, I think we need to look forward to something.
Okay, we will look forward to something as you just finished your phrase, and hopefully we will work on something for UAE and for Lebanon with you.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'd love to.
Yeah, we will do something for sure. We're connected now, and we just can brainstorm. And when things are fine, we can just move ahead. And I'm so sorry to hear that you're missing your family. Actually, it was my case. I haven't seen my own parents for over a year and a half, and then I went last month. I said, "That's it. I'm just taking this leap of faith.
Your parents are in Lebanon? Your parents are in Lebanon.
So yeah, and it was so difficult for me because I was just sitting in the car, looking at them, waving for them, and just sending flying kisses the moment I arrived from the airport, because I cannot get near them unless I do my PCR after 3 days. I was just so careful. I didn't want to be by any chance getting anything from the airport, God forbid, and transmitting it to them. So I took precaution, and I didn't even hug them when I saw them. And you won't believe, Alison, when I was at the airport coming back, I was really crying like a baby. I was just saying, I hope nobody sees me, because I had to pull the mask off. I was crying a lot. And I'm like, I hope nobody sees me. And they just say she was crying in the airport like babies. And this is after 12 years of traveling back and in Lebanon, and it's just that when you miss someone, it just stays there. We keep on missing them. Nothing changes. And yeah, I just hope you're going to see them very soon. And video programs.
Yes, definitely. And so tell me, do you have any, I would say, more personal dream, motorcycle dream?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I want to do US trips. Of course, Europe as well, but Europe I've done few, so I want to do a US trip. Second thing,
US, why US and where in US? Because the US is big. Is there any particular region that you really want to ride through?
I will be very frank with you. I don't have any plans. I just want to go and stay there for like a year and have a caravan with a bike. Like, this is how I visualize it. And I just want to go to the route. Is it 66 or 88? I don't know. I don't even remember.
Yeah, but 66. It's really well known. Yeah, the Route 66 is for the bikers. Yeah.
And then, people are telling me, what Route 66? This is so overrated. I will tell you other places. So it's like about just going for 1 year where I'm with my husband and my kids, with our caravan, and just, taking it easy and discovering and exploring, going by the day. Another thing, I see myself making nice coffee, good sandwiches in a nice old-fashioned biker cafe, where I'm just an old lady making hot chocolate for young women, giving them nice advices if they need to, and just chilling, I think this would be my retirement plan, hopefully. A caravan and a bike, and just giving a warm welcoming to those who want.
My God, that sounds amazing. That really sounds like I could have a very similar dreams, that sounds like the perfect retirement plan. That sounds like just the perfect day-to-day life,
True. I wish we could just started earlier.
Yeah. I mean, it's still possible. I mean, that's what I envision in a way with 3W. I hope to have all those, 3W clubhouses all around Asia where women can meet and catch up and have some drinks and, ride the bike, maybe rent a bike, maybe take some classes, and just, buy some cool clothes and, where we have our little kind of hood, because there's no really such places. And I agree with you. And I've always been in the men's world as well. And I love riding with guys and so on. But I just feel that it's just a different atmosphere, a different vibe with women. And we don't have any places like that's just for ourselves. You know what I mean?
So true. I
So
agree.
yeah, good plan. Let's keep the conversation, Lara. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I really loved chatting with you. And yeah, we're going to definitely continue the discussion offline anyway. Have a great
Thank
day
you.
ahead.
I also want to say one thing to you, that I wish you the best with your plans. You're such an inspiring soul, and you're doing a lot for ladies in Malaysia. And I'm so looking forward for more projects for all of us together.
Me too. Thanks very much, Lara, for your kind words. Speak
Thank you.
soon.
Bye. Thank you.